You are now tuned in to the STL Bucket List Show. This show is supported by stlouisarts.org, your place to explore everything that makes St. Louis so special, creative, and vibrant. From music, theater, festivals, galleries, comedy, and more, head over to stlouisarts.org to find your vibe today.
If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune into the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on? They'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah.
Ladies, gents, Tecovas Boots and Western Goods are coming to St. Louis, and you're invited to their grand opening event Friday and Saturday, September 29th and 30th at Plaza Frontenac. They'll have live music, free drinks, and swag bags all weekend long. Stop by, grab a cold one, and let their knowledgeable staff get you fitted and acquainted with their mighty comfortable, handcrafted pair of boots that you'll enjoy for years to come. September 29th and 30th at Plaza Frontenac. Tecovas, don't go gently. We'll see you there.
What's up, St. Louis? Thanks, guys, for tuning in to episode 83. You guys have been with us for a long time now. We're excited to come out with today's episode. And if you didn't know already, I am your host, Marissa Farrell.
And I'm your other host, Luke Farrell. And like Marissa said, we couldn't do this show without you guys. We continue to highlight the people, places, and events that make St. Louis special. And we have a person and an event that makes St. Louis special in the studio today. But before we get to that, I gotta shout out my friends over at the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis. stlouis.org, stlouisarts.org is a new website that they just released that highlights public art from museums to music to culture and everything in between. So guys, go check that out.
Yeah.
It's a great website. And then my friends over at Four Hands Brewing Company, always keeping our thirst quenched in the studio. And then, of course, the Wine and Cheese Place, which has 5 locations in St. Louis from South City out to Ladue. So I'll let Marissa.
It up all the time, yes. Don't mind me. I am in pajamas today. It is Spirit Week at school. It's homecoming week. And today we got to wear PJs. So I did not bring anything to change.
We didn't get the memo. So
I'm comfier than these guys. But without further ado, we've got Abdul-Kaba Abdullah in the building with GroveFest. And so we're going to talk to him today about all the amazing things that GroveFest has going on, all the things about you. Welcome.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. What's up, St. Louis? How are you today?
Hey, we're doing great. We're doing great. And then a little bit more about you. I know that you're the executive director at Park Central Development. Been doing amazing work all over the St. Louis area, but really specifically in some of these areas that we're going to talk about today. But before we get into it, I want to read a little bit about GroveFest, and then we're going to get into your story and kind of go for it. So for the past 17 years, GroveFest has brought thousands, lots more than thousands now, of St. Louis residents to the Grove to celebrate our community. This annual street festival, which takes place on the first Saturday of October, is a free and packs tons of fun into one amazing day. It has a merchant village, a food village featuring restaurants in the Grove, and also a family-friendly area. I know a lot of people are looking for things to do with their family on the weekends. Street performers, main stage performers. We're going to talk about some of those that are coming in town for this one, and it provides excitement for people of all ages. Is that a pretty good description?
That's pretty good.
Taken right from the website.
Grab from grovefest.com or thegrovestl.com /
But yeah, that's October 7th. So coming up at this point, when this episode comes out, it'll be the 27th?
Yeah, it'll be the 27th.
Wow, so
a week. So yeah, it's going to be
Right?
coming up, and I know we're going to talk a lot about GroveFest, but Abdul, I want to learn a little bit more about your story. You kind of mentioned it off air a little bit, but tell us about your childhood, tell us about growing up, and your story a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm from St. Louis. I'm a St. Louis native, so I've had the opportunity to really be a part of this city. I always say this is my city. I mean, I've lived in D.C. for a few years, but St. Louis is home. So originally from North St. Louis, grew up in Walnut Park. So had a great upbringing, great mom, great dad. So I've always had that opportunity to have good, strong parents, good, strong family, and just that support, and just the support of the St. Louis community. So yeah.
St. Louis
Cool.
is really
It's
special.
nice to have a St. Louis native. I mean, we always get people from all over, but it's not often that like our guests on the show actually come from and like grew up in St. Louis.
Yeah, we have a lot. We've had a lot of like entrepreneurs and different people that have moved here and built businesses here. St. Louis is such a thriving city for entrepreneurship, and there's a lot of talented entrepreneurs in our city that are really making a bang.
Yes, a lot of talented people in this city and lots of opportunity for growth. So, yeah.
So let's talk about some of the growth and the work that you've been doing with Park Central and then also GroveFest. So we can start off with Park Central first if you want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, so Park Central Development is a community development corporation. Park Central was actually the merger of 3 different smaller community development corporations all coming together. So I know that's so definitely not St. Louis. You know, we have our neighborhoods, we're very parochial, but it was, hey, how can we work together to create a bigger pie? So an organization called Central West End Midtown, the old McCreetown CDC, most people now know McCreetown as Botanical Heights, as well as Forest Park Southeast Development Corp, all came together to create Park Central. And it was so that at that time, it was really focused in on what they call the 17th Ward, which was an old political boundary. Surprise, everything's around politics and how things work. But that was the focus, so we can have a more professional staff to be able to service people. And from that, Park Central has been on the cusp of helping to facilitate over $14 billion of development into this city. And a lot of times when you do business in the city, you know, it can be very difficult. But Park Central is that kind of local city manager on the neighborhood level that kind of coordinates those services, coordinates development, and holds your hand through the process from dealing with community approval all the way to City Hall. If anyone's never gotten a permit in the city for anything, it can be difficult. Nice people, but, you know, I think they're addressing that now with the charter change to kind of address that. Yeah,
that's inspiring. So $14 billion and we're seeing it everywhere. I mean, it's going up all over Midtown, all over obviously Central West End, all the way through the Grove, all that.
On Delmar, you know, so there are different things as well. So, and I can't take credit for all that. That's been, you know, a combination of all of our leadership over the past 20 years that have been able to do that. So, since I've been there, it's been about $1.5 billion. So we do work that piece, and it's something that's great. So, yeah.
So name a few of the most recent developments that people might recognize or maybe don't even know that that's what that was that you did.
Well, it didn't that we necessarily build everything. Initially in Forest Park Southeast, when I go back to a lot of our developments that we've been responsible for and the entities that created that merged Park Central, we were responsible for probably 90% of all affordable housing in the Grove. So people don't realize that there are over, between our workforce housing, affordable housing that's in the Grove, there are over 600 units of that's literally sitting in the Grove. You would never know, but that was how it was planned. But projects we've assisted with, whether it's been helping them to navigate the city process, be able to help them secure tax abatement, community approval, work through variances, or that have been involved with us with our zoning code. We have something that's called the form-based code in the Central West End and in the Forest Park Southeast, the Grove, that kind of dictates development. So these are the standards that the community wanted to see. Park Central authored those codes, those form-based codes, and we worked with the city, of course, to do it. But we led that piece, so that development shapes what you're seeing. So one of those projects are the 100 building that sits right next to the Chase.
Beautiful building.
You know, it's a beautiful building. You know, one hopefully would be the Albion building that Sam Koppler's doing.
Right next door to it.
Right next door to it. Yeah. So working with him through some of those nuances, and it's never just one person, but in the system, we're like the hamster on the wheel that keeps everything moving. So there are tons of developments that
They need that because deals fall through all the time, and I mean they're big deals, and they're big, and like being able to say, hey, we've done this a bunch before. Let us help you.
Yep.
You know?
And then there's another development with Green Street with Barkay. When you see down, we work with Green Street to get that project approved, get it through the city. So it's there are several catalytic projects that all around the city.
Yeah, the 100 building. I was just over there, but you mentioned something that was really important was the affordable housing that you guys are doing. And one of those impacts is as our city grows and as the housing market changes and all that, we still need affordable housing for people in the city. And it makes the city so, so beautiful, so where everybody can work together. Everybody works in the city and vibrant. So I know you've done a lot for affordable housing in small businesses and the local community. So tell us, a little bit more about melding those together and how every project has to have some of those pieces, community, local business. people?
Yeah. So since I've been there, we've developed what's called our anti-displacement model. And in that, my goal and my mission since I've been in the Grove or at Park Central and the neighborhoods we work in have been to how do we create not just community and mixed income neighborhoods, but how do we build a neighborhood where people can live, work, and play, and that's an equitable, vibrant neighborhood for everybody. And I know people talk about equity, but equity is access, it's righteousness, it's that chance to stay in your community, whether you are a business, an older senior, or a homeowner that's been in that community where your family has owned a home, and then B, participate in the process that's going on so that you can realize some value in your real estate, which I think is the American dream. So that's kind of our approach to it, is to take a anti-displacement model where we work in the space to help businesses stay, businesses participate, help older seniors age in place, because if you're a senior, you get to walk the Grove, you can get to walk on Delmar, the Central West End. I mean, these are neighborhoods people want to live in, but making sure that you don't get pushed out, no matter how you look, no matter what your race is, your creed, your ethnicity, we want to make sure that they do that. So that has been a big focus of not just our development, but our mission to make sure that we create really equitable spaces that you can touch and you can see.
Mm-hmm. That's inspiring. Great.
How long have you been doing this work?
So I've been at Park Central Development since 2017. Okay. I've been here before that. I was a city manager in a municipality in St. Louis County, which really opened my eyes. It was in Berkeley, Missouri, which shared the neighboring, which is, they say, the neighboring border with Ferguson. So we lived through that. So I was hired July 14th. August 14th, Mike Brown happens, and we're right in the center of it. So, it's my first, as I say, big boy job. And, and it really woke me up that said, hey, you know what? The rules there really are no rules. Government has laws that you can change. And either you change those laws to bring equity and to bring safety to everyone, or in a place that they can see themselves living in, or you ultimately become the master of your own oppression who's pushing that. So that really changed my lens to say, we can do anything we want. The question is, are we intentional in doing it?
Absolutely.
Well said.
That's, very well said. So doing that work, I didn't know that. So you worked for the city of Berkeley. So
I was the city manager.
And you started in 2014.
Yep.
Right there. Yeah. I remember
Prime
that
time.
vividly. Like, we were seniors in high school then. Weren't we in 2014?
After.
Oh, it was like right after.
College, first year of college.
Yeah. That was such a pivotal time, and it took the entire community, not just Ferguson. We had a STL Change on here, Forward Through Ferguson, on the podcast a few months back, and they were talking about the 911 system and all the stuff that they're doing to try to help with some of those things that are going on. But tell us about some of the work that you did then. That was I'm sure that was very, very
it's a couple things. So growing up in Walnut Park, my mom and this gentleman by the name of Khatib Wahid started this program called Caring Communities. So when it comes to frontline activism and community work, I've been doing this work all my life. So this wasn't something that was very new to me. It was something that says, okay, you make change systematically, and you have to make change through systems or institutions. That's the way change happens. So for me, understanding that very early, once I got in those positions, I was able to say, okay, how do I reshape the system to work for me? One of my masters is in total quality management, and I'm also a Six Sigma black belt. So I look at systems, and when you look at systems, you can see where it needs to be changed. So some of the things that I did in Berkeley was I started the police department under what's called CALIA, which is International Accreditation. And that people may say, well, what does that mean? Well, CALIA is the highest form of accreditation that you can get for a police department, because it follows policies and procedures. So when you're going to have changes, you have to, most of the time when police are found guilty of something or they make a mistake, it's because they violated their policies and procedures. CALIA is the highest form of that. So by taking them through that, it gives good, sound practices for police to follow. And what I found was police are neither bad nor good. I think most of them are good. But police officers, they're paramilitary. That's why you have ranks. They follow orders. That's what they do. So this is ultimately comes back to elected officials and the orders that they're given from a city council or from a city standpoint that will dictate your police. So if we can have practices that are sound practices that does de-escalate use of force, that does give alternatives to how police should do that. That's another tool that you can use. And nobody's perfect, but that was one of the things, and the police department did receive CALIA International accreditation, which was something that was big. Back then, we were one of the first municipalities to implement body cams, right? And that came as a result of, just the time we were in. Also looking at one of the things that we did was, being on the front line too with our court system. And the time is, the judge over there was Jennifer Fisher, who was just a fantastic judge over there. We worked to make sure that some of those petty crimes that people would get dinged for, they may be in jail, that wasn't happening. But one of the things that we were also able to do, and I was very proud of, was having a predominantly Black trained police department, which made a difference with the interacting. So there was community policing. So some of those issues we didn't have as bad, but we still needed change. So
Absolutely.
so those are some things that I'm extremely proud of there on that side. But even repaving streets, we had even streets hadn't been done. The city didn't have a pool, so we were able to get a pool. So there's just so many lessons, but some of the things I'm most proud of is what we did around international accreditation of the police, the body cameras, beginning to implement that and making sure that there should be a tool that if someone messes up or someone does something wrong, we get the chance to correct them.
Absolutely. Systems and procedures. I mean, you say it all the time with what you do in teaching. There's systems. I'm working on building that
It makes the world go round.
in my business
I mean,
too.
really,
And it's the only
things.
way you can properly train people in any business and
Yes.
anything that you do in life is if you have a system that you follow, then you can train other people and give them a system that ultimately makes their job or life easier, hopefully. So that's inspiring that you did that and kind of led you into what you're doing now and continuing mission-based work and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's mission based. I believe in a St. Louis that's really equitable for everyone. And I've had instances where I've been on the front line on a lot of things. I was in the voluntary desegregation program in 1984 when I was in kindergarten. So going out and desegregating Melville High School in 1984 in kindergarten, it was an experience, but I did the whole piece. So it gave me a very different lens on not just St. Louis, but what people in general.
Yeah.
And so I'm definitely inspired by the work that we do, that I do, and just really, very proud to sit in these seats in a position where I can have integrity and be able to move these systems as they need to change. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you do a lot of, primarily it sounds like your focus is just the greater good of the people. And so I feel like that kind of connects to GroveFest a little bit about, right? Like you've got this vibrant neighborhood that's gone through actually quite a few transitions from the 50s to the 80s to what we see it to be now. And 17 years GroveFest has been happening. So I want to kind of transition a little bit to the work that you guys have going for that and how that has changed over time.
Yeah, I call GroveFest my love letter to the city. And the reason why is because it's something that, we, everyone gets busy, but it's something that runs out of my office and I'm very hands-on with it because I wanted to be a representation that really is the bow on Park Central so that this community can see that we're serious about the service that we do. We put together a great product every year, and it's free. Now, there's nothing against some of the other festivals that are out there. They're great. We need them, but this is a free event, and that's one of the things that that I'm very proud of. But the work that we do it's just incredible, and the reason why is because we want to make sure that people have the opportunity to participate in something that's one, safe, but then two, they get an experience that, if they can't afford it, I know this year we'll get into it, but bringing Big Frida, typically that's going to cost somebody. It does cost. We have to raise money for it, but
Yes,
that
it does.
becomes an opportunity for that. So, for me, it's to make it, when I got there, to make it more diverse, and not that it was that anything was wrong with it. The diversity that was needed, that was representative of the Grove, I just didn't quite see it. And I call the Grove the moral conscience of this city. It is the heartbeat of moral consciousness in the city, and it is a place where people should be able to live, work, and play. So those rainbow flags you see are not just about the LGBTQ community. It's about acceptance. It's about inclusion.
Humanity.
And that hatred, humanity and hatred won't be tolerated in that neighborhood. And it's a place, we don't care where you're at. If you come to have a great time, come on and have a great time.
Yeah.
So,
and there's that piece like that you have been hitting on multiple times in today's episode, is that it's equitable for everyone to come. It's free. So like, and then, we'll talk more about the events and what the day-to-day look, or the timeline of the day looks like. But, we've got family events, like a family center. You've got a car show available. You've got a hot dog and pizza eating contest.
Hey, shout out to Mitch at Pie Guy.
Yes.
Hey, shout out Mitch. Pie Guy is fire.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Lots of great opportunities that really is open for everyone. And so like this event, what does that do for the people and the businesses in the Grove?
Yeah, so it is meant to make sure we highlight the Grove, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal to have 50,000, 40,000 people to come down. One of the things that's that's unique to the Grove is that whenever when you have that many people, you do have to bring in other people into the event. But what we always start with is Grove businesses. So Grove businesses are the only ones who get to sell drinks or alcoholic drinks. We start with them first with food to see what's there. And we typically, if a Grove vendor does, a restaurant or business has something, we typically don't allow them in, or we only allow one other person in, because that's not to compete with them. So it's a big deal because it gets to showcase and highlight the Grove. And if you haven't been to the Grove, I do encourage you to come. But it gives the opportunity for us to, to really show off the neighborhoods, our murals, right?
Yes.
Our street art. We're in the process of becoming a creative district, an arts district. So we're in that process because that's unique. And our theme this year is 50 years of hip hop. And when you look at the murals, that's hip hop, right? That's for the street, that's for the culture. And it is the renaissance of youthfulness and, a community that says, hey, we're here, we want to be seen. So yeah.
Yes.
50 years of hip hop. Speaking of hip hop, got Manny Fresh coming in town. Tell us about some of the music we should expect there.
Oh man, this is going to be a great lineup. So we do have what's called the Block and Go block party that's on that the Grove has, and that is a great event. So just on the block party, we're of course going to have the amazing DJ Nico, and if you've never seen her, go down to Sophie's on a weekend. You'll definitely run into her. We'll also have Rashad and Reminisce who will be there. If you've never seen Rashad's and Reminisce show, you are missing what I call the oldest millennial and the youngest Gen X's, right? And it kind of bridges that gap between everything, and that'll be great. And then Manny Fresh will be on the block party. It's also sponsored by Uncle Nearest. And if you don't know the Uncle Nearest story, Uncle Nearest is so attached to St. Louis. That's another story. We need to have LeVar Douglas come on. Shout out to LeVar Douglas, who's from St. Louis and representing them here. But also on the stage, we'll have Big Frida. She's headlining, and that's the big one. I mean, if you've never, Big Frida, 25 years, the queen of bounce, and, just being one of the architects of bounce music. I mean, you can hear her everywhere, whether it's Beyonce Formation, You Can't Break My Soul. You'll hear her voice on that. And Frida's just been doing it forever. We'll also have the Divas of the Grove. This is the Grove, and I tell people, so we make sure that the Divas or our drag shows, we put them on the big stage, on the big apex stage, and we make sure that they're featured on the stage. We'll also have BB there, and if you haven't heard BB, she is just
BB the Neo Soul.
She is just incredible. And we'll have other acts as well. A metal band, and then also a Latin act as well, because we want to make sure that it's representative of everybody. And then lastly, we're going to also have hip hop karaoke on the West End with DJ Tycoon and T Parks. So I had a chance to see T Parks on a video, and I know I may be getting up, but I had no idea who she was. It's like, oh, okay, great. And and boy, have I been missing out on a personality.
Cool.
So
So is that going to be open to anyone? The karaoke?
it's open, so you can go to the website right now at the Grove STL /GroveFest, and you can actually sign up now to get in line.
Oh, cool.
So we'll have, of course, the stage. We'll have the lights. We'll have the 60-inch screen with the words. We'll have the lights up there. So come on and be a 50 years of hip hop
Be a
hero.
little star for a minute.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sign up before this episode drops so I can make sure I get in line before it goes crazy.
Yeah.
But I do love
Is that the
karaoke.
same for the pizza and hot dog eating? Like you can
did you
sign
guys-
up online, or is that day?
So that's that day.
Okay.
I know Mitch is handling really the signups
Sure.
for them,
Okay.
and then doggone it, you have Cheryl Myers and her son. Her son, we call him Tink.
Mm-hmm.
They've opened up a hot dog space in there, and it's just amazing. So
it is.
they'll be there as well. So
Come hungry.
yeah,
Be ready to eat and be ready to sing.
I think my buddy Aces Eats. He won the hot dog eating contest.
Ace did win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ace,
Oh my
Ace is.
gosh.
Ace slammed some hot
I
dogs
can't even
that
think
day.
about that kind of contest.
It wasn't like Joey Chestnut. It wasn't like that, 50, 60 of them, but
No.
he ate a lot of them things.
Yeah, Ace. Yeah, it was impressive. So
That's incredible. So some of the other vendors, I know like City Greens is going to be involved.
Yeah, people we've had on the pod, like City Greens, Chillax, We Power, all of them are vendors.
We've had all of them on the pod recently.
Yeah.
Platypus, some of the best cocktails.
which
Tony
we
Saputo
we're
and
obsessed
Meredith.
with Platypus.
Yeah.
That place.
Yeah.
We had it last weekend.
Yeah, we were there. I ate the Duck Duck Bill, the fried chicken.
fried chicken.
And those fries. Those things
yeah,
are
Grant
my
is. I'm
gosh.
telling you, he makes some great
It's such
chicken
a good
bites.
venue, dude. I love
It
it. They have
is.
live music there a lot too.
Yeah, definitely they do. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of great vendors who are going to be there. One of the things is that we wanted to make sure we were very intentional about the diversity that we bring in. So you will see a mix of people. You'll see a lot of female vendors. You'll see a lot of black female vendors. And then in the space, you'll see LGBTQ vendors as well. You'll see the traditional people who normally vend. So, we're very serious about that. City Greens is just a great space. They're like family. When they first started, we really worked with them. They used to meet in our space with their board meetings. We were a nonprofit. We're a nonprofit, so they weren't a nonprofit yet. So we accepted and then matched the donations they got for their first fundraiser. So this has been, that. But it's a great place, a great co-op, a great place to come and get some good, clean food that's there. We Power. I mean, what can I say about We Power? And Charlie Cooksey, that whole crew over there is great. So it's We Power, and then also we did partner with Frizz Fest as well, with Leslie and Valerie and Ricky over there to be able to make sure that we're getting the right vendors into the space because diversity matters. So it's going to be a great time. Chillax, of course, what they're doing is just incredible. There's just so many great entrepreneurs who are doing great things, and I think what GroveFest provides is a place where everyone gets to come together because we support our other festivals. We do support other people. So it isn't just, hey, this is Abdul and Park City. No.
Right.
I always say it's like playing jazz. And jazz, you really got about 5 notes that kind of make up the jazz. Make up jazz, but when you get the solo, and when you're not soloing, you're playing backup for other people. So we've been playing backup. It's our time to solo, and we'll continue to work with our people.
Nicely done.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh, I just had a question. It just escaped me.
Yeah, Frizz Fest, they just put on their event. We Power just put on. I mean, this is the season of events. Second, the weather cools down just a little bit.
And just like
events
you
start
said, like
coming.
your support, like all of these events literally
Tower
just
Grove
happened.
Pride's
Just
happening.
Tower Grove
happened.
Pride
So
this
it's cool
weekend,
to
which when the
see it all come
podcast
together.
happened, that would have happened the following. Yeah, so I mean that's going to be a huge event, Tower Grove Park.
Huge event. And I will just say this, and I know this is about GroveFest, but I still have to give a shout out to Leslie at Frizz Fest. If you have not been to Frizz Fest, if you're on the fence about sponsoring Frizz Fest, don't be. Please sponsor us, but don't be on the fence about it. It is an incredible festival, and I encourage any supporter, any corporation, any individual that wants to sponsor, you should definitely sponsor Leslie Hughes and Frizz Fest. So shameless plug because I think she's great. So
Yeah, shout out. You were out there.
I did. Went out there. Yep.
Yeah, I
Beautiful.
haven't been. I need to go.
Beautiful,
That sounds like
beautiful
my
event.
kind of thing.
Yeah, you
my
would love
kind
it.
of event.
Yeah.
It came back to me. So we were talking about the vendors, and so the list is closed now, right? Because GroveFest is next weekend. But how long does the planning take? Like how soon after GroveFest ends are you guys like back in the shop working? And then like how long is the application for vendors open?
We start in January.
Okay.
So we will pull the permits and kind of start talking about what the needs are. I typically get with Colin O'Brien and from Blank Slate. First of all, shout out to Colin, because Colin has been with me since 2017, and he has just been absolutely amazing. And, he's one of the few people who has a way of kind of, yeah, man, that's cool. That's great. But we may want to pull it back. And when I hear that, it means, okay, that's great. It's too much. But no, but he does a great job. But we start in January with the planning. We pull permits. And then the application process, when we start activating, it starts in June.
Oh.
So the application for vendors have been open since June. Yeah. So now with anything, you get into the end and people say, okay, in August it's filled up. We close it in September 15th, but it was closed before because we have a waiting list of 73 people.
Many. And then people are like, oh, what happened? I didn't even know. And you're
no.
Like, you should have been on the email list.
Yeah. Next year, guys, sign up, support, be a vendor, get your name
those
out
vendors,
there.
I mean, it's such, these events, and I know we keep talking about other events, but these events like Festival of Nations and all these events, the impact that you guys have on these businesses during that one day, the amount of money some of them will make more money than they make an entire month in that one day, and that's the real impact, and it's really bringing those people. They might go here and try Sando Shack or one of these places, and then be like, I never knew about this place, and now they're a huge fan and a customer of that place, and Sando Shack's going to sell a lot of Sandos that day.
Yeah, they are, and I think that's one of the reasons why I know there's been some talk about other festivals, and I get different festivals are created different ways. For us, GroveFest is not a fundraiser. We just want to make sure we don't lose any money. Exactly. It is a net zero event, which is why we keep our fees so low. Yeah. If you look at our fees, it's very low. When you can $400 to be a food vendor, $200 you can get in an early bird. I think it goes up to $300, but for a retail vendor, and it's to be able to make it affordable. And we have a lot of great, great sponsors. So just a perfect example, shout out to Stacy Clay at First Bank. They're one of the sponsors. And Stacy Clay actually donated 2 booths to vendors, said, hey, give these to small businesses so that they can be in growth. And we get a lot of that. So, and we had a lot of people who who have done that. And even shout out to Rack, but with Vanessa Cooksey over there. She is just incredible, and we have a lot of people and a lot of businesses, sponsors that do that.
Yeah. People in St. Louis are so gracious and they're so giving. And I think that's why we see so many nonprofits in the city. There's so many nonprofits and they're all really well supported and well funded in this city. And shout out to a lot of the corporations that we have in here that are really putting their money where their mouth is and helping these events, because it's such a big deal for that community. The people that live in there, it's a pride event. It's like, this is our event. We're going to have this once a year, and everybody from the counties and different cities are going to come in for this event and really just have a good time and get together, and it's free. There's so much free stuff to do, and this is one of those events of the year. It's like, this is the event to go to.
Yeah, I mean, even the kids area, we didn't really talk about that in Perina, Little Bit Foundation, as well as Ronald McDonald House really stepped up. So this year we'll have petting zoo with pony rides over in the space, the bubble bus.
Bubbles,
I mean, everybody loves the bubble bus. I mean, if you don't,
we
just saw the bubble bus at the balloon race.
Something's wrong with you if you don't like the bubble bus. But we'll also have the game truck. We'll have face painters, STL Artworks will be there. So there'll be a lot of stuff even for families to be able to come out and enjoy. And I typically say that 3 to 6, 3 to 7. It's good family time, and then
and then go home and let the nightlife take off.
Then the Grove sign comes on, and when the Grove sign comes on,
it's like time to. It's like when the street lights come on.
When the street lights come on,
it's like send the kids home. That's
so
what
what would you tell somebody that hasn't been yet, and just give like a what's that experience like? I mean, you've been there, but like just give somebody that's listening to the show. We have a lot of listeners from all over St. Louis that this might be the first time they're hearing about it. They might have been the last 3-4 years, but just give people an idea of what to expect when they show up.
Or what are you looking forward to most this year?
Yeah. What I'm really looking forward to the most. This is really what I'm looking forward to the most. And I know it sounds crazy. but it's always the bubble bus.
Oh, the bubble bus.
How did we know?
Not Big Frida. No, Big Frida after the bubble bus, then Big Frida.
One's running a real close second, but but no, I'm really looking forward to seeing Big Frida, and it's always great because when you have Big Frida, you have Manny Fresh, and you're able to really pair local artists with them, and they're able to meet them and be a part. It really helps to elevate them. So, you know, maybe the next time they're in town, they say, hey, we want to have such and such come and open to us. But, you know, for someone that's going to come, we would tell you to come excited, come ready to try new experiences. There are going to be great food, and St. Louis is a food town, you know, but there is a lot of great food, great experiences, great people. I mean, you'll see everyone there from police officers to firemen to drag kings and queens to families. I mean, you have families that come out, and it's just a great time. It's pet friendly. You can bring your dog. Nice. I mean, it's one of those things that really help, that you'll really enjoy. So there's something there for everyone.
There's vegan food.
There's
options.
vegan food as well. You know, so I think that is a great experience. We'll have Heidi over there who did the.
She does the sushi boards?
The Red Lantern Festival.
Oh, yeah.
So our friends from Saigon Cafe will be there. Yeah. We'll have, of course, Sebastian at La Cali, who just opened up in the Grove. He's just incredible. So just an incredible space. I mean, you'll have...
Oh, they opened the New Mexican restaurant.
The New Mexican restaurant. Yeah. So you'll have different people from all walks from different parts of the city, because what we do, once the Grove vendors get set, we then open it up to other neighborhoods that we want to come, so that you can highlight and get great cuisine. But prepare to be inspired, prepare to be amazed, prepare to see an incredible organization, and prepare to feel like I'm in a place that I don't feel like at times I'm even in St. Louis. It's this Disney World. What's going on? Because we're also going to have street performers. We're going to have aerialists that are out there. We're going to have World Hoop Day. We're going to have the roller derby out there. So they'll be their arch rival. So they'll be out there as well. We'll have African dancers. The Abini Dance Troupe, who they just do an amazing job. We're gonna have Juggling Jeff. Everybody loves Juggling Jeff. You've never seen him, so there's something for everyone that's out there.
So October 7th, 3 to 10 or 11?
3 to 11.
Okay.
So just for the headliners, Manny Fresh will go on the block party, which is off of the street. So it'd be in between Open Concept and Atomic Cowboy. Okay. So we're really hoping to get Atomic open. So we'll
get that back patio popping.
Yeah, get it back really just going. But that street will be incredible. Manny Fresh will perform there at 8:15 to 9:15. So he'll be on for an hour doing his DJ set. Right after that, and then we give about 10 to 15 minutes to get to the main stage to see Frida, who comes on at 9:30, and she'll go from 9:30 to 11. So it's gonna be. It's going to be incredible.
Right there on Manchester, guys.
Tell us about, just because I know a lot of people, when they ask us on Instagram, you know, we got a ton of people like, hey, where do I park? Where do I do this? What do I do? So the street's going to be blocked off from...
At Boyle Avenue. So the street will be at Boyle Avenue all the way to Vandervender. Okay. So the Grove is roughly 1.1 miles from Kings Highway to the top. We take about 0.65 miles to put the festival, and then with the side streets that we open up, it gives us an additional a little under a mile. So, but the way it's set up, so it's not quite a square mile, but it's pretty close, and so it gives us enough space to do what we want to do. So, of course, there's street parking. There's also going to be parking on other parking lots around, and we'll put that information on there. We're also working rideshare. We'll have the ability to do that. Of course, you have the Gramophone lot, but you have parking on the Grove, you have parking on Vandervender, and then there are also interior lots as well that'll be open. So, and as we continue to have that, we'll have that parking plan where you can park on our website.
Perfect.
That's awesome. People always ask about parking. They're always
it's always
texting us,
a
hey, I saw you post that event. Where do I park? I'm like, get an Uber. I said rideshare. Come on now.
Yeah, it's always there. I just tell people to come. Definitely come. But rideshare is always great. But we'll have where the parking lots are for people.
So look at the website. Is that just GroveFest.ca? we can look it up too.
The Grove
STL.
STL
Okay.
/ GroveFest. So if
Great.
you go to the Grove STL, there's a big link that says GroveFest on it, and you click on it, it'll take you right there.
And you'll see all the information, parking, vendors, what to expect, lineup, what's happening on stages. The whole day of scheduling is on
wait.
there. So
We'll be down there.
to close it out, as a St. Louis native, we ask the question all the time, what is your ideal STL bucket list? So some of your favorite spots, things to do. If you have friends coming from Washington, maybe, where are you going to take them? Things like that.
All right, so my bucket list, anyone that comes to St. Louis, I'm from North St. Louis, so we're going to get you some Chinese food. I mean, so it's a couple places. So, if you're in Walnut Park, you always went to John's on West Florissant. That is one place, but we always go with Mali. I mean, if we're just talking.
I'm going there after this.
Yeah, I mean, Kui and that group over there, they just crush
It hits
it
every time.
every time. So of course you got to get to Mali. The next place I am going to take them, of course, is to the Grove.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to come to the Grove. It's going to be a great time. I mean, it's just so many places. So I mean, it just depends on what they're in for.
What the vibe is.
What the vibe is. So I mean, we'll go every place from of course. Chinese food, that's always going to be the big one. But if you're looking to have hear some good music, we're going to take you down to Sophie's. Not that I don't like the Grove. I can name 20 places in the Grove, but we're going to take you to Sophie's.
Sophie's a cool hip hop DJ vinyl
To be
vibe.
able to just kick back and chill. I mean, you're going to because you're going to have just some great feeling, great people. I'm also going to take you to Forest Park. If it's we have kids with us, we're going to take you to Forest Park. So it's just so many to really name that I can't just say this is it. But definitely Miley, I'm going to go see Kui. If you come into St. Louis, we're going to Miley, and then we're also going to finish at some point at the Vandy over there with Matt Longville. If you haven't been to the Vandy,
That's the Barkeep people, right?
The Barkeep people.
Yeah,
It's
great drinks.
It's amazing, great drinks. They have non-alcoholic drinks. It's a little speakeasy that you have there. And then, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't take them to Urban Chestnut because we are talking about the Grove here. So.
That's right.
And I know we talked about on the phone on one spot I've been taking a lot of people and we've been going out there. Grace Mean 3. I mean, we take
Rick. Let me tell you,
Rick.
Slaps
It's so
every
good.
time.
And if you don't know about Rick Lewis, this is the same guy when the pandemic happened. He said, we're not laying anybody off and we're going to do what we have to do to take care of our people. And this city responded. So Rick Lewis is just I cannot say enough about Rick. It has probably been the pleasure, one of the biggest pleasures, meeting him, his family, and seeing them. And they are incredible human beings.
Soulful people, for sure. Down to earth, very
Makes some damn good
wholehearted.
chicken too.
And he makes good chicken. Absolutely.
And fried catfish too. But that's a spot. It's just one of those spots. It's like a Miley where it's you go there, don't have to worry about planning ahead. You just swing in there, get a quick meal, boom. It's always
it's a
good.
great meal.
Stab. We are literally going to Miley.
Yes, I'm
after
gonna
this.
place an order to pick up on the way home. So.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you so much, Abdul, for coming on this, coming in the studio today, making the time, driving through traffic to get here to the studio. Come on now.
Yeah.
But we're super excited to be at the event. Hopefully, we'll be able to catch you there. I know you're going to be running around, but hopefully, you take a time to step back and really enjoy the show towards later in the night.
I do, right before the headliner. It's the only time I go on the stage and I go out and I look at the crowd, and every year I take a picture, and I'm just St. Louis amazes me.
Yeah, no, it really does. So other than that, anything else that you want to tell people, anywhere to find? I mean, obviously we kind of talked about the website, but social media, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, so social media, it's the Grove STL. You can go to, you can also go to GroveFest, GroveFest STL, which is on social media. You have the Grove, and then you have GroveFest. So, I mean, they are different sites, but the Grove STL will be there, and I think you can always go to the website to also start, and that's a great place. So, we're also, as we kind of close out, having the support of Explore St. Louis this year to come and document it with a videographer as a part of what they're doing, will be incredible, as well as having Philip Hamer to take pictures, just incredible. So come there, come to GroveFest, and we can't wait to have you. And again, GroveFest is Park Central's love letter to the city.
Beautiful. Great.
Well, we'll see you guys at GroveFest, and we'll see you next week on the podcast.
Next week.
Thank you so much.
Today they rep St. Louis, yeah. They rep St. Louis. They rep St. Louis.